Next, some call her a hero for killing an accused molester. Now Ellie Nessler goes on trial. And here the defense make an unusual pitch on behalf of accused killer Dorothea Puente. I'm Patrick Emery.
And I'm Jennifer Whitney. Also ahead, a new round of heavy rains increase flood misery in the Midwest. And hear why scenes like this may become a thing of the past at Lake Tahoe. Coverage you count on is next.
And now, KOVR 13 News, coverage you count on, with Patrick Emery, Jennifer Whitney, and meteorologist Tom Loftman. This is KOVR 13 News at 5.
Hard, change the laws! Yes, right on! Right on!
Our top story, a crowd demands tougher laws on child molesters as Ellie Nessler goes on trial.
Now, Nessler admits killing the man accused of molesting her son, but she says that she was insane at the time. Pat Davis is in our San Joaquin County Bureau with a look at the first day of jury selection in this trial. Pat.
Jennifer, about 120 potential jurors are being questioned, not in the traditional way, but in this 9-page questionnaire, which asks them not only what they think of gun control, but what they think of the criminal justice system. So it's likely that system will also stand trial, so to speak, and will come under the same scrutiny as Ellie Nessler. At least many people hope so.
Rock your heart, change the laws! Yes, right on!
A small but vocal group of supporters shouted at motorists passing by the Tuolumne County Courthouse, but their signs said it all. No one disputes that Ellie Nessler fired a gun 5 times into the back of Daniel Driver, her son's alleged molester. Half a dozen people witnessed the courtroom shooting. Yet Nessler seems very confident and hopeful.
I feel great.
A jury will now decide if Nessler planned to kill Driver or if the 40-year-old mom was blinded by rage and unable to tell right from wrong. A decision which could mean the difference between life in prison for murder and up to 11 years for manslaughter. But Nessler and her family hope for an acquittal.
The truth will come out, and we have faith in the justice system.
Even so, it was a lack of faith in the system which Ellie Nessler says drove her to kill Daniel Driver. And supporters say that should drive lawmakers to make some changes.
She had no reason to believe justice was going to be served. He'd been convicted before and basically slapped on the wrist. And until the laws change, this is going to happen again. You can be assured of it.
Some supporters say they have felt that kind of homicidal rage. And like Ellie Nessler, they were molested as children.
You're a victim, you know, once, and then the court system makes you a victim all over again.
Supporters say they'll be out there until the trial is over, and they say they're glad it's being held in Sonora. They actually think that that will help Ellie Nessler's case. The jury is expected to be in place by next Tuesday, and among all of the witnesses, there are dozens of them that are expected to testify. They include Ellie Nessler's son, Willie, and her sister, Jan Martinez, who you'll recall was in the courtroom when Ellie Nessler pulled the trigger. Back to you.
Many eyes across the country will be looking at this one to see how it turns out. All right,
Absolutely.
Pat. And now to the trial of Sacramento boarding house operator Dorothea Puente, accused of killing 9 of her elderly tenants.
The defense admits that Puente stole their pension checks, but says that she didn't kill them. Jim Wieters joining us live now in Monterey where the defense continues final arguments. Jim?
Patrick, the timing, the tempo, the pace of the final argument phase of the Puente trial slowed down a bit today. We're now told the case will go to the jury sometime tomorrow.
Parent drug, one of the metabolites.
A liar? Yes. A thief? Yes. The most notorious female serial killer in Sacramento history? Well, once again, defense attorney Kevin Climo urged, prodded, pleaded with the jury to think no. Climo told Monterey jurors the prosecution hasn't proved beyond reasonable doubt Puente killed 9 people in the mid and late 80s.
That in evaluating all of this massive material, each of you has to arrive at your own personal decision based on your own appreciation for moral certainty.
This afternoon's session marked Climo's second full 8-hour day in front of the jury. It appears both sides are now willing to go at a slow, even cautious pace, in part because it's taken nearly 4.5 years to go from arrest to final arguments.
I vigorously have spent way beyond the time I should have attempting to convince you of an alternative, reasonable view.
We should add that co-defense counsel Peter Vlotton now estimates it's going to take the jury at least 3 days, possibly a week, just to digest all the court documentation in this trial. We'll have another live report on this coming up at 6. Patrick?
All right, Jim Weeder. Well, prosecutors today attempted to knock the credibility of a psychiatrist who testified on behalf of the defense in the Eric Houston murder trial. Yesterday, Dr. Jess Grossbeck told the jury he believes the 24-year-old Houston was delusional in the weeks before the May 1992 Lyndhurst High School shootings. Under cross-examination, though, Grossbeck testified his evaluation of Houston did not include a review of tapes and video recorded talks made with Houston by police during and after the siege. Grossbeck also admitted Houston's hatred of his former teacher, Robert Brenz, was so serious Houston could have made up claims that he was molested by Brenz. Brenz was one of the 4 people Houston is accused of killing.
Well, this is the worst flood ever in parts of the Midwest, and it gets worse by the hour. And today, more heavy rains, if you can believe it. Meteorologist Jim Ganal is live for us in Quincy, Illinois. And Jim, don't even tell us there's more rain in the forecast.
Jennifer, it's been unbelievable. 37 of the last 42 days it has rained here. And it's not like a raging flood that you would see in a flash flood. This river is 10 miles wide, and it just muscles its way through everything around here. And we did have torrential rains that flooded downtown Quincy again this afternoon. It is hoped that it does dry out a little bit. It is also estimated, Jennifer, this is unbelievable now, that 1/3 of the content of the water here is raw sewage from all the plants upstream. And so it's just like a giant cesspool here raging through the middle part of the country. The Mississippi drains about 42% of the nation. We don't need rain. I would estimate that it's going to take a couple of months for things to return to normal down here. The levees are like quicksand. You walk on them, you sink in them, they're that saturated. And we did have another levee break at Hannibal, Missouri here today.
How are they ever going to get all that water out of there?
I don't think they will this summer, and the cleanup is going to be a mess with disease. That's why tetanus shots are being given by the Red Cross. And the way this thing is up, I think it's going to last probably until August.
Oh, my goodness. Well, the best to you and everyone there. That's all we can say at this point. Thanks, Jim.
Thanks, Jennifer.
The floods are hurting some California growers trying to ship their produce to the east. Rail lines through Chicago have been blocked by the flooding. Some crops are being sidelined here in Sacramento as a result.
And our meteorologist, Tom Loffman, is keeping an eye on the weather pattern over the Midwest. And as you can see, he joins us now, Tom.
Well, here's a map of the rainfall that we have received in Iowa and Missouri today. And today means today. This does not include the whole week. And the orange areas are areas that have received over 1 inch of rain today, and the red areas have received over 3 inches. Here's Waterloo, here's St. Louis, so all the way from St. Louis all the way up into southern Minnesota, most of those areas have received between 1 and 3 inches today, and some spots have received heavy rainfall, and it's still raining. How about that? Our own weather picture, much better.
All right, Tom, we'll talk to you shortly. A natural disaster in Japan tops our news digest as the death toll rises. From yesterday's earthquake, at least 71 people now are being reported as dead. Another 169 reported as missing. The massive quake destroyed hundreds of buildings, many burned. The quake also triggered 16-foot-high tidal waves. Emergency crews are working round the clock trying to clean up the destruction there. 3 freighters carrying 650 illegal Chinese immigrants remain off the coast of Mexico this afternoon. The immigrants are living in filthy, dilapidated conditions. Food supplied by the Coast Guard. State Department won't say what it plans to do about these latest immigrants. And the Princess of Wales toured a refugee camp in Zimbabwe today. She met with residents of the camp who have been waiting 20 years to go home after crossing the border to escape from the war in Mozambique.
And there's much more to come tonight on KOVR 13 News. A famous race car driver dies after a helicopter accident, and 2 local men die in another chopper crash. Just ahead on 13, we'll look at helicopter safety and what can be done to improve it.
Also ahead, we will tell you about plans for an easy way to travel around Tahoe without a car. And later, we will show you who the real winners are in Epi's Great Race.
The mother of all triathlons. An intense run. A grueling cycle. a tough paddle. Take the challenge. The world's oldest triathlon, Effie's Great Race 20, Saturday, July 17th along the American River Parkway. Proceeds benefit Sacramento County Adaptive Leisure Services. So register today. Call 916-366-2940. Brought to you by KOVR 13 in partnership with these sponsors.
Why is the Roseville Auto Mall having the best sales months in history? Selection, service, and saving. 93 model year closeout is on at the Roseville Auto Mall. Every 93 car, truck, and van is priced to go before the new models arrive. Take a test drive, get a free Roseville Auto Mall cap, and every week, another family wins a trip to Disneyland. Closeout prices and the lowest interest rates in years makes this the best time to buy. Hurry to 93 closeout at the Roseville Auto Mall, home of the free VIP service shuttle.
To a cat, the world is a feast for the senses. Watch the instinctive way he approaches things, and you'll understand why he's drawn to new silky smooth Pâté Supreme. Savory, choice ingredients like salmon, crab, and venison. A delicate taste and a texture as refined as your cat. Introducing new Pâté Supreme from the makers of Whiskas.
Give your summer a little heat and a lot of splash with the Wild Summer Sweepstakes. Just visit your participating Taco Bell restaurant, home of the hot new Wild Tacos. Fill out your entry and send it to KOVR 13. Then watch KOVR 13 News at 6. If your name is shown, call within 30 minutes to win a key that just might start a special Splash Edition Ford Ranger truck from Folsom Lake Ford, part of Ford's #1 summer. Enter, watch, and win with the Wild Summer Sweepstakes from KOVR 13, Folsom Lake Ford, and Taco Bell. Now, coverage you count on continues.
Stock car driver Davey Allison died this morning after suffering massive injuries yesterday in a helicopter crash.
The 32-year-old stock car driver was piloting his passenger. Driver Red Farmer is in critical but stable condition tonight. Allison and Farmer flew to the Talladega Superspeedway in Alabama on Monday. They were going to watch test driving. Federal investigators say that they'll sort out all the conflicting accounts of just exactly what happened during the crash. And meanwhile, a helicopter crash in the American River Canyon yesterday is raising questions about power lines. Pilot John Driscoll and student Glenn Latourell died when their chopper snagged on 3 Pacific Gas and Electric transmission lines. Now, our Angie Crouch is in Chopper 13 right now. Angie, what's being done to prevent this kind of thing from happening in the future with these lines?
Well, Patrick, power lines are causing up to 15% of all fatal helicopter crashes these days. So more and more we're seeing power lines marked with big, colorful markers like these you see here. Now, FAA regulations say that all power lines in major flyways that are built after 1972 have to be marked if they stand on a pole that's taller than 200 feet. But in the case of the crash yesterday, there's a bit of a loophole, because while those poles that are set on the hillside do meet regulations, the actual wires hang above the canyon about 400 feet. The wreckage of John Driscoll's Robinson R-22 helicopter was lifted from the North Fork of the American River this afternoon, just as the 60,000-volt power lines that down the chopper were being repaired. Now the lines are hanging just as they did before the crash, about 400 feet above the ground, with no markings. Notice, even as the crash scene is cleared, the power lines just above the recovery helicopter are virtually invisible. Chopper 13 pilot Ben Springer says they're hanging dangerously low.
We would operate in that altitude if we were covering a forest fire in this area or a drowning victim. I could come up that river myself at that height, and now that I know those wires are there, I can look out for them, but they're completely invisible.
In fact, this isn't the first time these wires have been hit. Back in 1986, a military helicopter struck the wires but avoided a crash. Duke Holdcraft repaired the lines. He says he thinks they should be marked.
There is a cardinal rule in aviation. Do not fly below a canyon rim because there might be power lines that you cannot see. But it's like a double yellow line. You do not cross the double yellow line, but people do it anyhow.
Now, the power company says it is now considering marking those power lines above the American River Canyon. Meanwhile, a statewide task force made up of pilots and members of utility companies is developing some new criteria for what's safe and what's not. Reporting live in Chopper 13, Angie Crouch for KOVR 13 News.
All right, Angie.
Such a tragedy. Well, the sky is more congested these days, and for that matter, so are many roads. But getting around Lake Tahoe may become a lot easier in the near future. without your car. Assignment California reporter John Iender has this story you'll see only on 13.
Waterfall, the crystal blue lake, the dam, traffic. All the studies show tourists and residents here are fed up with gridlock. It's bad enough during the week here when an average 52,000 residents are living around the lake. But then on the weekends when the tourists come, especially in these months of July and August, the population goes up to an incredible 304,000. There are now so many cars at South Shore that air quality here no longer meets federal safety standards. We have learned the Clinton administration has just approved a $1.2 million grant to design and build the first ever around-the-lake public transit system.
We hope that we'll be operational in roughly August.
Roger Imsdahl is Placer County's Tahoe planner.
The bus schedule will start at 8 o'clock in the morning at South Shore, and it'll run 15 hours a day. So each bus can make 5 complete loops around Lake Tahoe.
That should cut both traffic and smog and give tourists more time to look at the scenery.
Studies that led to the concept of the lake lapper showed that, again, particularly in the summertime, a lot of people rented a car, a lot of visitors rented a car just to circumnavigate the lake, to do the 72-mile drive around the lake.
The lake lapper will be a luxury tourist bus with bike racks. $5 will buy an all-day pass, plus connect you with local city buses. Our informal survey shows the concept could work. If there were a bus that went around the lake completely, would you ride it?
You're darn right I would. I thought that'd be a great ride.
I don't drive, so that would help me a lot.
We rented a car this time around.
That's the whole idea, is to keep the rental cars down.
Yeah, so it might work.
It will take another year to build the buses and the route, but by next summer, the lake lapper could be living up to its name. On assignment California in Tahoe, John Iender, KOVR 13 News.
So Tahoe hopes to pay for part of the costs of the lake lapper from a new tax on rental cars. So I guess get it while you can, because after a while,
They're probably thrilled with all of this,
exactly,
aren't they?
exactly.
Well, now, the weather here, beautiful.
It looks so pretty up there, too. Tahoe's so gorgeous. Anyhow, well, Tom Laufman's coming up next to let us know what we can expect for the rest of the week.
Here are today's specials at Worthington Chevrolet. Now, if you see one you like, give us a call. We'll hold it for you. Look, here's an 89 Olds, a Cutlass Sierra, $49.95. An 88 Buick Century, $59.95. An 86 Ford Taurus Wagon, $49.95. A 90 Chevy Lumina, $69.95. An 89 Toyota Camry, $69.95, and you get a free 10-day trial exchange. It's Worthington Mitsubishi, Worthington Chevrolet on Florida Road, open till 10 every day.
Denny's Ask America how they like our new prime rib dinner.
Now this is prime rib. Thick, tender,
And very popular.
browned and roasted on the outside.
Lean and juicy inside.
Baked potatoes, Caesar salad.
They give you the works.
It's a fancy meal.
Without the fancy price.
It tickles my fancy at Lenny's. Denny's.
America, there's a prime rib dinner done just the way you like, only $6.99 and only at Denny's.
Denny's. Who would have thought?
Coming up, Tom Laufman, the Valley's only weeknight TV weathercaster, endorsed by the American Meteorological Society.
Sacramento's smog causes severe headaches. When you drive alone, you're the cause of Sacramento's smog. Sacramento's smog causes impaired breathing. When you drive alone, you're the cause of Sacramento's smog. Sacramento's smog causes burning eyes. Instead of being part of the cause of Sacramento's smog, be part of the solution. Do whatever it takes to make fewer trips alone in your car. Join the revolution against air pollution.
For a limited time, save with free installation on a water conditioner or drinking water system.
KOVR 13 weather is brought to you by Culligan Water.
So you were just saying how good you feel, how positive everything is right now. And
Absolutely.
Good.
Yeah, how about you?
Fine, thanks.
Good. Let's check in with Tom, see how he feels.
That is so reassuring to know you guys are feeling good. What a nice day it was today. 91 was the high at Executive Airport. High tomorrow, 90 degrees. We're going to slice another degree off the temperatures. We're running below normal. We should be in the mid-90s, and we're in the low 90s. That's fine. We got a little bit of a breeze going. Humidity dropped today, making it more comfortable. Still plenty of sunshine, and as we head toward the end of the week, even cooler weather. Hard to believe. In the foothills, mostly in the 80s tomorrow, with a few spots at or above 90 degrees, but generally 80-degree readings, and the lows in the mid-50s to the low 60s. Lots of sunshine and a nice breeze. Can't beat that one. The Bay Area has been fabulous for the last few days. It will continue to be very nice. 88 in Santa Rosa, 72 in the city, 65 in Monterey. We do have late night and early morning fog. The breeze is blowing. Can't beat that for the Bay Area and for the mountains. A slight cooling trend still. Very nice. 79 in Quincy, 77 in Pollock Pines. Only in the low 70s at Lake Tahoe and 80 in Reno. So cool weather, especially overnight. Let's take a look at that satellite shot. Upper level low in the Pacific Northwest keeps pumping in cool air into the western states. It is being reinforced and will drop farther south, so temperatures will cool even more. We are getting some snow in the high mountains of Montana and Idaho. Hard to believe. Here's the super view. Notice the airflow coming in from the west-northwest. Here are the clouds in the Pacific Northwest. That cool air dropping farther southward. So it's going to be a great week with mild temperatures. Across the country, here's that Midwestern situation. Notice all the moisture that had been Calvin flowing in from New Mexico and West Texas feeding into these thunderstorms in the Midwest. That's the band that came through Missouri and produced the heavy rain today, in some spots over 3 inches. Heavy rain in parts of Louisiana had over 5-6 inches in some isolated spots. Nice day in the Northeast for a change. Here are the showers in the Northwest. Upper level low located right in this position. Notice the weather radar picking up showers in Puget Sound and all the way down from Oregon to Southern California. A fabulous day in the Golden State. Observer Team 13, Feather Falls 80, 86 in Tuolumne, 83 in Swansboro Country, and Quincy 82 degrees. A beautiful day all over the foothills. Kelly Ridge 92, 94 in Knights Ferry, Citrus Heights 94, and Rancho Cordova 95 degrees. Right now it's very pleasant. Marysville, Yuba City 93, Sacramento with a bit of a breeze, 89, 92s in Stockton and Modesto. Humidity has been very low today, dropped a bit, dew point 49, the relative humidity 26%. Sea breeze 15 miles an hour, the barometer 29.92. And the next 24 hours, most of the high temperatures 89 or 90 up to around 93, 94. That's about a degree cooler than today with plenty of sunshine. And here's the 6-day outlook, looking way ahead through the weekend and into early next week. Upper 80s to low 90s with lows in the mid to upper 50s. So very nice conditions headed our way. Can't beat it. And I don't feel guilty. I'm sorry, we talked yesterday about whether you should feel guilty or not. So far, no one is feeling guilty, so go with the flow.
Not
but
me.
empathy, certainly.
Yes,
very much
we have
so.
some empathy.
There's a difference between empathy and guilty.
Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you, Tom.
Yes.
A little education there.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are gearing up for Effie's great race, but we know who the real winners are.
And when we come back, we will tell you how the money raised in the race helps these kids all year.
He just lunged at my breast. He pulled me into the back of the bushes. I really believed that if I didn't scream or get hysterical, he'd let go. But he didn't.
A soap star lives to tell of her near-fatal attack. I Survived the Jaws of Death on the next hard copy.
Tonight at 6:30 on KOVR 13.
There's a new taste sensation for more active lifestyles. Gently steamed rice, tender teriyaki chicken breast. Fresh carrots, broccoli, and tangy teriyaki sauce. You'd never imagine it has less than 3 grams of fat. New teriyaki bowls from Jack in the Box.
You know, we ought to have a fly-through.
UC Davis Medical Center is leading the way in providing emergency care for kids.
The center is opening a brand new pediatric emergency clinic this Thursday, and we were given a preview today. Accidents can kill more children under the age 14. They do kill more children under that age than anything else. And despite this, a recent Institute of Medicine report criticizes the way most hospitals handle emergency care for kids. One of the big problems is that the equipment's the wrong size, but not so here.
A child can't breathe, and we have to put a tube down their windpipe. A large adult tube would never work. We have the right size tubes for children here. When we draw blood, even the size of the needles may be different. So everything is tailored here to the size of a child.
Now, the kids have to appreciate that, and the designs are cheerful, too. Doctors say feeling good about the treatment they get can help the little patients recover faster.
Makes sense. This weekend, more than 2,000 athletes will compete in the 20th anniversary of Epi's Great Race. The race is expected to raise several $1,000s for Sacramento County's Adaptive Leisure Services. Suzanne Rico shows us how the program helps the disabled become athletes.
It's too smooth.
Using programs provided by Adaptive Leisure Services, Bill Adams has gotten to be a pretty good basketball player. And shooting hoops isn't the only thing he's learned.
My favorite is swimming.
The swimming, softball, and camping opportunities are provided free for Adaptive Leisure Services' 20,000 participants.
I went to the campsite, went to the listen to the campfire, listen to the ghost stories.
Okay, Billy. But for this mom, it's not so much the money, it's the time her son gets to spend with his friends.
Camping, I think, has been his favorite experience. And it's just a group of his peers. I mean, he goes with his buddy every year. He's got a best friend, Chris Fry, that they go together and they have a great time. I hear all kinds of stories.
Adaptive Leisure Services has been providing disabled people with fun things to do since 1975, and for the past 14 years, they've received over $400,000 from the runners, bikers, and kayakers competing in the Great Race.
And we definitely need the money. We've had severe budget cuts. Last fall, we lost all of our general fund money from Sacramento County.
On race day, many of those who have benefited from Adaptive Leisure Services will be out here on the race course volunteering their time. It's their way of saying thank you to everyone involved in Epi's Great Race. On the American River Parkway, Suzanne Rico, KOVR 13 News.
And, of course, Iron Woman Rico is going to be participating. It is still not too late to help out the kids like Billy by running Epi's Great Race. You can pick up an entry form at a sporting goods store, or you can register on race day. The fun begins at 7:30 in the morning. Get up early in Sacramento's Gaiety Park.
You're telling them to get up early, so does this mean you're not doing it?
I'll be there at the finish line.
Cheering you along the way.
I'll set my alarm.
Actually, it would be fun to do. That kayaking looks like it would be tough.
Oh,
I can't even imagine.
A lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, having one baby can keep you busy. But how about having 6?
Yeah, up next, we will show you how the fun is just beginning as sex templates go home.
You could run San Francisco for a year on 5 billion kilowatt hours of electricity. But could you generate it with less risk of acid rain or global warming? We can, using a fuel we'll never run out of. In fact, we may have picked up some from you today. The fuel that fires our trash to energy plants, otherwise known as garbage. What business do we have saying we help the environment? That is our business.
Another big truck sale at Worthington Chevrolet. Now, if you see one you like, give us a call. We'll hold it for you. Look, here's an 88 Chevy Astrovan, $69.95. Here's a 91 Ford Explorer, $10,995. Here's a 90 Ford Ranger, $69.95. Here's an 89 Ford Aerostar, $79.95. Here's a 91 Plymouth Voyager, $99.95. Financing is no problem. It's Worthington Mitsubishi and Worthington Chevrolet on Florin Road. We're open till 10 every day.
Look for the Best of KOVR 13 Values Coupon Magazine coming to your mailbox soon with fantastic discounts from your favorite stores and restaurants. And look inside for your chance to win a 7-day trip of a lifetime to Australia, the land down under, from KOVR 13 and Carlson Travel. Also, there's a new way to get to Hawaii.
With Hawaii Miles, you gotta love it. You gotta love it.
The Best of KOVR 13 Values coming to your mailbox soon.
This is a big car. Put it in park. Hey, how's it going?
It's going great.
Where's my food?
love this place.
You know, you could have got the sandwich for 99 cents.
I didn't want that. I wanted this.
That's a smart move then, so you're having it your way.
99-cent sandwich.
Sandwich. Can you do that? Yeah, but it's called a sandwich. Check in between the seats. You could reach down in there and find enough change to pay for it. You got the sandwich? Is that your favorite thing to get?
Yeah.
It's your way right away.
Love this place.
Well, now, if you thought having one baby was an adventure.
And it is. Imagine having 6 all at once. The last of the sextuplets, born to Becky and Keith Dilley of Indianapolis, got to be the first to go home today. The 6 babies have been in the hospital since they were born a month ago. And today, Mom and Dad were able to take little Adrian home along with his sister Claire. The other 4 babies are doing well, but it isn't known when they're going to be strong enough to go home. So these 2 are just going to have to do for now.
I'm sure they'll be thrilled and think of the work that's ahead.
Oh, can you imagine?
No, I really can't. World News Tonight.
See you here at 6.